Hi, it's Tom Trust again, and this is a few words about how the EU is actually run, how it's governed, because we can vote for members of European Parliament, and some people I think assume that the MEPs have got the same powers as our MPs in Westminster have got. I do hope the volume of this is coming over all right. Now, where do the proposals for new laws come from in our Parliament in the UK? Well, it comes from the government ministers. They would have given out policies in their manifestos, and then they enact acts to debate and vote on and become law. And it's pretty usual that the government in power, which has got the majority of seats, gets its acts voted into law. But also, in our Parliament, individual MPs can propose bills to become Acts of Parliament, and that's all part of our very democratic process, and it doesn't often work out that an MP's bill becomes law, but that's at least within our framework, within our constitution. But proposals for new laws in the EU come from the European Commission, not from the MEPs. So these people who vote as MEPs in Europe haven't got a jot of a chance of introducing a new law. We want the EU flag to be a green background, not a blue. Never going to happen, because MEPs, you couldn't write your MEP for him to create a bill to that effect, and so it wouldn't happen. All the MEPs do is rubber stamp the proposals for laws that come from the European Commission. So who are the Commission? Well, one member per country. Each one has about, or almost 1,000 civil servants behind them, because there are about 24,000 civil servants working for helping the Commission. Woo, that's an awful lot of paper being pushed around. The Council of the EU, this is a group made up of ministers from the national governments of all the countries. It varies, depends which ministers go. Well, whatever the topic is, if it's finance, it'll be the finance ministers. If it's defence, it'll be defence ministers. So the Council of Ministers changes. 4 times a year the Prime Ministers meet, and they discuss policy, and they also discuss laws. But the MEPs and the councils just really rubber stamp the laws that come from the European Commission. This Commission is not elected by you or me. The MEPs have the power of voting out the Commission, but it has to have reason to vote out the whole Commission. And then they have 25, 26 other names to vote for a new Commission, but they can't pick out one and say, no, don't want him, but we'll have the others. They have to vote on the whole lot. It's either all of them or none of them. So it's a really rather silly system. And it doesn't at all reflect the democracy that has operated in the United Kingdom since our Parliament was established. Goodness knows how many hundreds of years ago, but slowly their powers have been pulled away. So that's how it works in Europe. You don't have any control. Any one of you listening, watching this, living in Europe, you don't have any control over the people who are forming the laws, and the EU treaties state very clearly that EU laws have primacy over the laws of any individual member state. Do let that burn into your brain. Digest it, understand it. Understand we have to get out of the EU. The UK must get out of the EU. We must govern ourselves again. Has to be UKIP that you vote for in the next election.